what the reader was saying and who he was speaking to. That's why we have to study. He was talking to them about this particular area, worker area, because it was damaging to the church. But today, sexual immorality is still damaging the church.
Yes, it is.
It's still damaging the church. Because people still got I'm going to do what I want to do type of attitude. So as long as you have that, it's always going to be an issue in the church. No, ain't nothing wrong with the church. This is called real work. This is real talk.
Amen.
These are real issues that we deal with in the church.
Yes.
This is real. So those are the four areas that in our walk that we want to try to forsake or avoid. And I'm here to tell you, you don't avoid it and forsake it on your own. You can't do it without Christ.
That's right.
That's real.
That's so true.
Mama was saying earlier, she was speaking from a partnership in a marriage. We can't do this thing alone. I need my wife need me. She needs her husband needs her. But even in the body of Christ, we need each other.
Yes.
That's why Paul identified the body of Christ. He used things that we can relate to. He used the body members, and he said, like, what is the thumb without the pinky? I don't know if you ever broke anything before, but if you break your big toe, it's going to affect the way you walk. It's going to alter it. You may still be able to walk, but it's going to alter it. Well, it's the same thing. If you're down, Minister Isaiah, and I'm up, as a whole, as a unit, not as individuals, but as a whole, as a unit, it affects us.
Yes.
But the enemy telling you, don't nobody care. It's just you, and then you go into that isolation. But no, every time I see you, what do I say? I'm happy to see you because I need you.
That's it. That's right.
See?
Amen. Amen.
Because I need you. You may not know, but when I see you, it encourages me to keep me going. I don't got it all together. When she sees China encourages her. She encourages China, and back and forth. That's the way the body's supposed to work. That's why we're talking about unity. Where there's unity, there's strength. But when you got an art against your own sister, then you're not going to care when they down. But in fact, you're probably praying against them to stay down.
Oh.
But yet you were hooping and hollering in church every Sunday and Wednesday. And that ain't how it's supposed to be. That is not how ministry was designed.
Yes.
It wasn't designed that way. That's why we got to deal with that and deal with that spirit, and we got to uproot it and we got to deal with it, because it can be a cancer in the ministry.
Yes.
We're told to edify each other, and that word edify means build up. It never said anything about talking about them. It didn't say anything about going on Facebook and indirect talking about them.
Ooh, come on, that's right.
I see all that messy stuff from church people.
Come on, that's right.
Did you see what she wore in church on Thursday? But that's supposed to be your sister. And if you was truly not concerned about what she had on, then buy her something else.
That's right.
Amen.
That's
right.
right. That's right.
You don't like what I got on, then buy me something. I'm a size 12 shoes, y'all.
Praise the Lord. Let me get my size out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as a body, we are to edify each other. And guess what? God is charging you.
Amen.
Just because he doesn't use the prophet or the prophetess to speak it don't mean he don't see it. That's your problem. You're focusing on the wrong thing.
Come on.
But if you don't have a personal relationship with him, then there ain't even no conviction there for you.
Come on. That's it. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Y'all see some of my stuff get exposed in the church, but I'm already dealing with it.
Come on.
Because I got a personal relationship.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's it. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Now, once you conquered all that, you renewed your mind, we walking in your newness, then we're charged to walk in 3 different areas: in love, in light, and in wisdom.
In love.
Which is with the ungodly or the non-believer or the worldly, wherever it fits in your life, that person, we didn't walk in love. We didn't walk in the light, because he said those are children of the darkness. It's God's light that allows us to be the children of the light, to which we walk in light. So when you see the people in the world talking about enlightenment and light, see, that's deception.
Yes.
That's deception. The light we talking about is the light of Christ. So you cannot have that light without not having him.
Come on, that's it. Come on.
That's real.
So now you're charged to walk in light and not darkness. And we're charged to walk in wisdom and not being foolish. That's why Paul was talking about, I did things as a child But now that I'm a man and I'm grown, I'm doing things like a man. But why are we still doing things like sometimes I see 18-year-olds are more mature than a 50-year-old.
Come on.
Even the world understands that principle. Aaliyah's first album was called Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Now, you can see God in that.
Yeah.
Because age ain't nothing but a number.
It's true. It's so true.
Because Timothy got called to ministry at a very young age. And that's the thing that Timothy was trying to use. Keep telling Paul, but I'm young. They're not going to receive me. And God didn't allow him to use us as an excuse. I don't know why we think we can use us as an excuse today.
Come on.
If you better get on here and look. God is using these 10-year-olds. God is using 8-year-olds prophesying in the church, laying hands on people, speaking with us in the Lord at 8, 9 years old.
That's right.
While we talking about, I'm too young.
Come on.
Well, let me share this with you. Young people dying.
So true. Yeah.
So if you ain't too young for death, you dang sure ain't too young for life.
That's it.
So that new man, now we walk in the light, God's light. We walk in the wisdom, and we walk in wisdom. Let me just give y'all this real quick. Let me just give y'all this nugget real quick on each one of those areas for those note takers. You can get all that by Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 through 18. We'll give you those 3 areas that we walk in the light, we walk in the wisdom, and we walk in the love.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Paul said, without charity, which is the word for love, he said you ain't got nothing.
That's true.
And y'all probably all experienced so-called church people and can't even see the presence of love.
Come on. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I'm just being honest.
So true.
Come on, I mean, what you trying to do here, man? You're already trying to wire my mouth. Let me just read this. That's okay, because the word is in. Let me just read this. You guys go to 5:1 real quick. Just real quick. 5:1 and 2. I'm going to leave y'all with this. It's Ephesians chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. But when you go home, read 1 through 18. It's going to cover those 3 areas: walking in love, walking in light, and walking in wisdom. I want to just read here 5 verses 1 and 2. It says, "Therefore be imitators of God as dearly loved children, and walk in love, as the Messiah also loved us and gave himself for us a sacrificial and fragrant offering to God." So for some of us who think like, well, you know, I'm doing that, I'm sacrificing, you know, I'm doing that for the church, I'm doing all this stuff, and you thinking you sacrificing, well, let me ask you this. Did you give your life as a sacrificial offering to God? Because that's what the Son did. He gave the ultimate offering.
Yes.
So all I'm just saying is that I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I understand that. But it requires much, much more than that.
Yes.
He said, be imitators of who? Of God. So in everything we do, it should imitate our Father.
Thank you. Thank you.
And walk in love, because the Messiah loved us. So I pray that the Word of God was a blessing to you guys as much as it was for me. Make sure you guys look at chapter 5, verses 1 through 18, and look at those 3 areas. And then look at yourself within those 3 areas and just tighten it up. That's all this is. This is just information for you to take in, examine yourself where you at. One area you may be already good, then work on the other 2.
Mm-hmm.
But we can always be bettering ourselves when it comes to our walk with God. We can always be doing something better than what we did yesterday.
Yes.
And then moving forward. So I pray that the Word of God was a blessing to not only the hearer of the Word, but to actually the doer of the Word. And that is the Word. At this time, stand to your feet real quick and welcome up Dr. Pamela Anderson. She comes just in her own way.